Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deidra if you're new, and if you're not new, then welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about anxiety and how I cope with anxiety when I'm at my lowest points. Recently, I have been going through a lot myself, and so I was able to take some realistic tactics that I do during that time and write them down and bring them to you. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and list down below what tactics you use when you're going through a really hard time, what helps you relax, or even if you relate to any of the ones that I'm going to be talking about in this video. But without further ado, we're getting straight into it. So to start off, I kind of want to talk about what exactly anxiety is. So people who experience anxiety, which I'm sure is most of you who are watching this, or people in general, is our body's natural response to deal with stress. It causes us to be worried about little things like everyday tasks or things to do in the future or our past. And it's normal to feel this way as things happen all the time, and sometimes we get to points where we need to figure out ways to collectively get ourselves back into a space where we don't feel as anxious, and so we can be more productive. Typically, what people feel when they feel anxiety is fearful, I can't speak, or nervous. So fearful and nervous are the two things that most people feel, because it's almost like you're unsure of what's to come in your future. And basically, I just kind of wanted to talk about my tactics or ways of dealing with my anxiety that have worked best for me during this past week, where I myself have been experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of surprise things that happened that I wasn't expecting, and how I kind of get my energy back to where it needs to be, so that way I won't feel so uneasy all the time. So the first tactic that I want to talk about in regards to how I deal with my anxiety is cleanliness. And believe it or not, I touched on this in a previous video where you saw me cleaning my energy and my space. It's very important to be able to be in a space that you're comfortable in and you can be at ease in when dealing with anxiety. I like to make sure I have a clean space, but also a clean body. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to take showers, because I feel like in some kind of way it helps me cleanse all the negativity that I kind of deal with in the day, any dirtiness that's on my body. I like to wash my hair, wash my face, and just feel clean going into my space that is also clean. If you haven't watched it already, as I mentioned, I have a video on how I realistically clean my space and kind of deal with negative energy. In that video, I basically show you how I clean my space, what I clean, how deep I clean, all that, so that I feel comfortable when I come back into my space, so I can truly relax, meditate, light a candle, drink some wine, whatever it is that I need to do in my space so that I feel comfortable at all times. The second thing that I do to keep my mind at bay is read books. A book that I'm constantly touching on and speaking about is Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry His. I mentioned it in my previous vlogs and also other videos. And basically this book kind of points out obvious things that you can do for yourself to, one, keep a positive mindset, and two, manifest how you want things to go moving forward. I think it's important to, one, have your mind in a space like that, because if you're always thinking negatively, negative things will happen because you're low-key manifesting them. But two, just so that you can manifest positive things moving forward, and you won't be so stuck on the future and any negative things happening to you moving forward. And I feel like any book that you read, so long as it's giving you some kind of knowledge or pushing you to step outside of that negative mindset and push you into a more positive light, it helps you to deal with your anxiety, because you're no longer focused on what's really bothering you. You're working on tactics and you're reading books that are going to help you get past that hurdle. The next thing on my list that I really think is important when you're in a space of anxiety is to express gratitude to things that are positive and negatively happening in the moment. So let's say you're working a 9 to 5 and you're not necessarily happy with the 9 to 5, as opposed to expressing the negativity of how much you dislike the role or where you're at with the role. It's important to also talk about what you're grateful for in terms of that you have a job in order to pay your bills and how it benefits you positively. When you're able to do this, you kind of step outside of the mindset of not wanting to do anything and using excuses to not do your job the way you should. It makes you not want to be a part of anything in that specific mindset or role. Basically anything negative pertaining to the thing that you dislike the most. So I think it's very important to be able to express the gratitude for the negative and positive things that are happening, because when you do that, you're able to look at the upside about negative things as opposed to always looking at the downsides of those. My next tip for how I deal with my anxiety is to use my energy into things that I love. So an example would be me doing this video right here. I enjoy bringing you guys content, and I know that as opposed to moping around and using my energy to be in bed, moping around and doing a million two other things that'll make me happy, I can use that energy that I would be using towards being worried about things in my future towards things that are going to help me be productive and show me results moving forward. It's always nice to see that when you do put your energy into things that you love doing and you get to see results, that pushes you to want to continue doing those things as opposed to worry about things that you may be anxious about in your future. It never helps to put your energy into things that aren't going to help you self-improve. So when you look back, you can say, I could have been in bed, I could have been drinking all night, I could have been doing things that don't really add anything to my well-being, but instead I'm taking steps to do things that are going to help me in the long run, do things that I love, and then also see results in the long run, because you're not worried about things in the future, but you're worrying about what you can do now so that way you have a positive future. I think it's important to nourish your body. It doesn't hurt to indulge in things that you like to eat or that you feel are going to benefit you and make you feel better. So you can have a glass of wine, you can have that ice cream, as long as it's going to make you feel better about the circumstances that you're in. You don't want to overindulge and overdo it, but you definitely need to at least allow your body to feel good into doing things that are going to help relax you, and I think that's important. So an example would be if I had a really shitty day, I would go and get my favorite chicken wings from whatever spot I'm going to. Just to be like, you had a rough day, you deserve this, you deserve a break, it's okay to take a break, and here is your pick-me-up for the week, so that way you can continue being productive and get through the week, so that way down the road you can give yourself a prize for being productive and seeing the results that you're putting in. I know this one might seem like a silly one, but I feel like drinking water and staying hydrated helps me, just to know that I'm upkeeping with my body inside and not only outside. Like as I mentioned to you before, yes, I take my showers and I keep my rooms, clean, but it's also nice to take care of your body from the inside out. So staying hydrated, making sure you're on top of that, so that way you can keep your energy going. Water gives you energy, it keeps you full, it cleans up your skin. It just has so many benefits to drinking it and using it, and so I think it's beneficial to drink some water here and there, because it does help with keeping you on track and making you feel better, not only from the outside in, but from the inside out. Another thing I like to do to work with my anxiety is to make ultimate goals. I like to keep myself busy in helpful ways. I think it's counterintuitive to keep yourself busy and to ignore what's going on, because that's not what I'm trying to get at here. I think it's important to tackle what exactly it is that you feel like is making you anxious or giving you anxiety, and then based off of those, make goals towards things that are going to help you get over that hurdle. So For example, let's say you don't like your job and you got a really bad work performance. As opposed to dwelling in the moment about how they told you your work performance was poor, you could be doing things and making goals in your workplace so that next time there won't be an issue of your work performance, whether that be answering more phone calls, writing down more notes, or even communicating with your coworkers. I think that it's important to make goals for yourself so that you're doing it more so for yourself rather than the people you're working under. But I feel like you can make ultimate goals for anything pertaining to anything making you anxious. So for me, I enjoy making YouTube videos. I feel like I'm not as productive as I want to be, so I'm going to set a goal of myself to do at least 3 YouTube videos a day, so that way I have content prepared for the weeks to come, and I get to see results in the long run of getting more subscribers, and then I feel better about myself and I don't feel as anxious about it because I'm working towards the goal of something that I shouldn't have to be worried about moving forward. I don't got to be worried about making content, and I don't have to worry about getting subscribers because those things will come based off of my productivity. Making an ambiance in your space can really help you relax and put your mind in the place where it needs to be. For me personally, I like to set up my space with candles. I think that candles are great. They make your room smell good. When you turn off the lights, they give you a little ambiance like you're in a fancy restaurant. And then also, I like my candles to have the wooden wick so that it sounds like it's a campfire or like a fireplace. That also helps me relax at night. I don't know what it is about the noise, but candles I feel like help. So get a nice candle that you like the smell of, so when you walk into your room after a nice shower and the lights are off, not only does your room smell good, you got a little ambiance going so you can relax, and you have the sound of firewood next to you that can help soothe you and put you at ease after a long day. I think a huge factor that a lot of us run into is social media. It can be really hard not to get off of social media, but I think it's important to take a step off of social media for a little bit when you're feeling anxious, just because a lot of us find ourselves comparing those to others, and in reality, people aren't really showing the end all be all. People have bad days as well, and social media is really good at showing you only the good stuff. They don't show you the bad days when you hurt your ankle, or you get fired from your job, or you get a boo-boo on your knee. They show you the vacation pics and the body goals and anything else that you feel like you're comparing yourself to. So whenever you feel like, you're not in the right place, get off of social media, take a break for a little bit, really regroup with yourself and focus on things that matter to you versus trying to compare yourself to other people, because you really don't know what's happening behind closed doors. One big thing that I used when I was working in the office the week before is really setting myself up for the next day. So most mornings when I used to go into the office before the pandemic happened, I would just kind of wake up the day of, scramble to look for an outfit, trying to figure out how to do my hair. When I started my week this week, because I was feeling anxious, I really made it a point for me to set my day up before it got started. When I say this, I mean I found an outfit for work the day before, so I knew exactly what I was wearing. I prepped my hair for the day before, so that way all I had to do was take a shower, brush my teeth, wash my face, moisturize. I had my outfit ready, I had my hair ready, and we were good to go. It definitely helped take a lot of pressure off of things that I had to do, and it definitely helped to start my day off on the right foot, not having to worry about little unnecessary things that could easily be accommodated for the day before. Another way that I set myself up for the next day is I have a lot of stuff that I need to bring into work with me, so I always make sure to set up my backpack with my work badge, any notes or information I need to be successful during the work day, and just pack it all up the day before so that I'm also not scrambling to look for my wallet, my keys, my phone on the way out the next morning. I just have everything in my bag. I can grab it and go. That really helps me to kind of be like, all right, girl, you on your shit today. You are on the go. Get it done. Get it done. Okay, period. My next tip for dealing with anxiety is to do mantras. As I mentioned to you a few tips ago, a book that I've been reading is Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry His. I will link it down below in the description section. And one of the things that I took away from this book that helped me a lot is doing mantras. On top of being able to recognize things that you are grateful for, it's important to make sure that you're speaking things into existence in a positive way. One example of ways you can do that is saying phrases like, wouldn't it be nice if? When you talk about things that would be nice, you're almost contradicting your future because you know it's going to happen. And stuff like that really puts things into perspective for you, so that way you feel better moving forward. So let's say you need more money and you're struggling. You would say, wouldn't it be nice if I got an extra $100 in my pocket? And sure enough, the following week coming up, you get paid, one, or let's say you just happen to stumble on some money because you would rather use the positive statement as opposed to thinking negatively about your future. One way or another, you're preventing yourself from creating any negative comments moving forward. When you choose to use words and phrases, specifically like the one I mentioned, wouldn't it be nice if, you are choosing to take the high route in terms of not falling back on that negative thought, but thinking positively and putting positive energy towards whatever you want or whatever you're manifesting for your future. You're not restricting your manifest from happening, you're just letting the universe take control of that. So make sure to be easy on yourself and really stay positive even when things get hard. Sure enough, you will see that things are going to work out in your favor even when it doesn't feel like it, because you're anxious about the future. My last tip for those who are just having a rough time is to meditate. Whether that's 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, get in the habit of meditating and getting in spaces where you're able to let go of the world around you and kind of just focus on your breathing for about 10 to 15 minutes per day. It really helps you refocus and get your mind recentered around the things that really matter, as opposed to the negativity that you're thinking about throughout your week and throughout your day. This helps me deal with things. I specifically do this before I go to bed at night. Ultimately, when I meditate before I go to bed, I end up falling asleep and I wake up feeling a lot better. So I think that meditating will really help you center and focus around things that matter, stop you from thinking about all the negative things that happen during your day or throughout your day, or anything in the future that you feel like you might manifest by thinking negatively about things. But meditation is definitely a huge one, and if you stay consistent at it, then you become more of a positive person and you see more results happening in your day-to-day. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These were just some of the tactics that I personally use when I have anxiety. I think it's important to recenter yourself and really figure out what things you can do to make yourself feel better, whether that be taking a shower, cleaning your space, getting off social media. There are so many ways for you to recenter yourself, refocus on things that you need to focus on, and just stay positive. I know that it can be hard because, as I said to you before, it's this apprehension towards things to come in the future, but we got this. We are all going through it. We all deal with it, and I really hope this video helps some of you guys who are having a rough time right now. I promise you things are going to look better in the long run. They always turn around. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please list down below anything or any comments of ways that you personally use tactics, or if you see any of these tactics that work for you, for your anxiety. And I love you guys. Thanks for tuning, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.